Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to have you all join us here tonight. Um, this is Julie White, and we're in August, actually August the 6th, and I live in Pennsylvania, and it's great to see your faces here tonight. And I'm super excited because we have an awesome guest on tonight. I just want to give a little introduction. Um, be, before I turn it over to him, and his name is Sam Flake. And I believe he's a Pro 8 in our company. Anyway, I know he's a top leader, and he and his wife, Vandy, are amazing leaders. And Sam grew up on a farm, a ranch, and he was 7 out of 10 children. He was a construction worker, a school teacher. He's the father of 4 beautiful children. And he has an amazing wife, Vandy, whom I love. She's just a great person. And he's been a full-time network marketer for the last 6+ years. And this is his first time in network marketing. And so that's really exciting. And he has some great things to share with us tonight. And then at the very end, we'll have a little time for question and answer. So Sam, are you on?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. And I appreciate that everybody has their line muted. I'm going to go ahead, though, and just mute all in case somebody comes on late. And so, Sam, you'll have to unmute yourself as soon as I mute everybody, okay?
No problem.
Okay. Awesome, Sam. Well, thanks so much for joining us. And what does your shirt say there? I'm trying to see your shirt.
Oh, our high school mascot, Snowflake Lobos.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, Snowflake. So where exactly do you live?
So we moved to next door to Snowflake, a little town called Taylor, but I grew up in Snowflake, Arizona. It's a little town about 3 miles northeast of Phoenix, about 5,600 feet elevation up in the mountains, and about 5,000 people live in Snowflake, 5,000 in this town next door in Taylor. And I've lived in a couple other places, but this is home. So
Awesome. Sounds like a great place. Yeah. So I know you had some things that you were going to share with us tonight. So I'm just going to let you go ahead and share what's on your heart.
You bet. You bet. And thank you for inviting me. Where do you live, Julie?
I live in Mansfield, Pennsylvania. It's actually close to the New York border.
Okay. Is everybody on the call from Pennsylvania?
No, there's people from, there are quite a few on here from Pennsylvania, but there's also people from some other states.
Awesome. Well, I like to know my audience a little bit. And the only thing I don't like about just jumping on and speaking on a Zoom is can't really get to know your audience very well first, so you just kind of have to go for it. That's my nature, is building relationships and that kind of thing. But yeah, when she asked me to speak, asked me kind of what I was most passionate about, and these are things I'm most passionate about, especially after going to the convention or the Lead Academy in Anaheim. Raise your hand if you went to Anaheim, by the way. Just curious by raise of hands. I guess I can't see everybody. But that was, I say this almost every time, but that was a game changer for me. And guys, I've been in this for over 8 years. So I've been in this almost since the beginning. It was a year old when I got in. And I'll tell you my story real quick and then go through a little bit of my journey, my ups, my downs, and things like that. And then I want to talk to you about my vision for the next 5 years. I want to talk to you about timing. I want to talk to you about consistency, the importance of consistency. And I want to talk to you a little about independence. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to tease you with that word right now, but I'm going to tell you more what I mean by that at the very end of this call. Can you still hear me okay, Julie? Just want to make sure I'm coming through good. Okay, good deal. So like she said, I grew up on a farm and ranch, 7th of 10 kids. I did construction for a while. I was a school teacher for a few years, had never done network marketing, kind of had a negative opinion about network marketing. And being from this small town, I didn't know anybody who had ever succeeded at it. I didn't even know if it was like real business or whatever. But what I've learned is that our industry has grown over $30 billion. Hold on one second. Over the last, since 2011 to 2017, we grew from like 150 billion to almost 190 billion dollars. And that's what's just going to keep happening. I mean, you look at the Sears and the JCPenney's and look at all the retail stores because of Amazon. Look at what's happened in the economy. Look at people jumping on like Uber and Airbnb. I mean, there's more. I mean, the industrial age is over. I mean, yes, there's always going to be little pieces and pots of, you know, we still have an electric plant, a couple electric plants up here, coal powered, and they send electricity down to the Phoenix area, over to California. And there was a paper mill here for 50 years that just shut down a couple of years ago. And, you know, so there's always going to be a little bit of that. But, you know, things are changing. Things are different. I mean, in college, price of college is going through the roof. And unless you get scholarships and, you know, have very specified ideas of what you're going to do, like my kids, I want them to go, I'd like them to go to college if they want to, if they want to go for the experience, you know, and I'm very protective of my kids and want to kind of manage what they learn and different things like that. So I'm a little leery about that part, but I don't want them to go just for the experience. I want an end goal, you know, and help make sure they understand this is how much money it's going to take, you know, they're preparing with scholarships or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I was actually reading recently, a couple of years ago, I read in the newspaper that baby boomers, people 65 and over, collectively still owe like 16 to 17 billion dollars in student loan debt. And that's crazy. I've heard that 95% of Americans can't retire. A lot of people have to kind of work till they're in the hospital, basically. And that's just really sad. And so if you struggle with network marketing, I know for me, that was my biggest struggle. I could swallow that little yellow pill, but that network marketing pill took a lot longer to get down. But when you strip away the stereotypes and the stigmas and maybe somebody else's past experience or maybe your past experience, I mean, if you go to a good restaurant, and here's a good way to resolve the concern when people say, is this one of those things? You know, they ask them, hey, have you ever been to a bad restaurant or know somebody who ate at a bad restaurant or had some bad food there? They're like, well, yeah. Did you quit eating or did you quit going to restaurants? You know, you just basically, I mean, all professional network marketers do is they educate. I mean, some people think network marketing means salespeople. And that can't be farther from the truth. I mean, although sales, it's a good thing. Without sales, we wouldn't have a lot of things we have. But a lot of times people think of sales as like the used car salesperson, right? Or that kind of a thing. And I was not a salesman at all. I mean, I grew up on a farm and ranch. I did construction. I was a school teacher. I mean, I tried a little business a couple times. I think I even tried to go door to door for 2 weeks for pest control once in college. And I couldn't stand it. That was miserable. So, but when you do this correctly, when you do it professionally, and I challenge you, I was real proud of one of my distributors. I called and found out that she had signed up for a course herself, studying some professional network marketers, not in our company, but I don't really care about that. Principles are the same industry-wide. And like real estates or banking, I mean, think of any industry, they have these conventions and things, and people go to learn how to better their businesses in the industry. And this was an online course, but to me, it just showed me that she was a bigger thinker than what a lot of people think about network marketers, which is just having a party and, you know, hoping to make a little money, never really going anywhere, just spending a bunch of money, never making any money. I mean, that's a perception, would you guys agree, that a lot of people have about network marketers and network marketing? And most of that comes from our passion and our belief. And the most important thing you can have in this business is belief. Belief is what builds your business. And there's like several pillars of belief that I teach. And when I'm talking to one of my distributors, I'm always trying to build belief in one, if not all of these areas, one or two or fewer, if not all of these areas. Because I've seen that when belief in these 4 or 5 pillars goes up, mouths open, passion returns, excitement returns, and more results happen, more behaviors happen. You know, and I care more about the behaviors. And of course, you want results, but a lot of people focus on the results instead of the behaviors, and then they come across wrong because they just want results instead of just going through the behaviors. So these pillars of belief are, number one is belief in network marketing. And you heard me talk a lot about this, and in meetings I talk a lot about this, because this is one of the biggest hurdles that we have. I mean, let's just be honest. Number two is belief in life planning. And this could be both for prospects and distributors. Everybody you meet, if you help build their belief in these areas, whether it's an informal meeting or just formal, you know, just casual conversation, if you can be bulletproof and stand up for what you believe in and help build belief in these areas, and you can become a professional. You're on your way to becoming a professional. Another thing I want to say is about comparison. And there's a quote I heard once that I really love, and it says, comparison is the thief of progress. And another quote I heard I really like says, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. Don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. Comparison is the thief of progress, okay? Just be grateful that you know about LifeVantage when you do. We're still in the early majority. There's a study done on good network marketing companies that go somewhere with the first 150,000 distributors to know about them, basically are on the ground floor before the huge momentum happens. As we have, what, 80,000 or so worldwide? So whether you've been in a while or you're brand new, know that you're still brand new. Even if you've been in for 8 years, you're still brand new. And I have hold on one second. The great thing about this business is you can do it from home. Sometimes that presents its challenges. I'm babysitting 3 boys right now, and one of them's hanging on my door. Hold on one second. All right. Okay. All right, so you got to meet Quentin, my 2-year-old. So he's our baby, our youngest. He's a LifeVantage baby, a Pretanda baby, and an Axio baby. My gosh, this kid, about all he wants is Axio. I love Axio because, you know, a lot of times before that our kids want juice or they want soda or something like that. And so we can give him Axio all day long because we just can put just a tiny bit in and fill it up. You say hi? You wave? Say hi. Hi. All right. And we've even found the Axio packets like chewed into and on the floor sometimes. So you like Axio? Yeah? He loves Axio. So kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, remind me, Julie, if you can remember what I was talking about. I know it was the pillars.
Yes, you did. You covered 2 pillars, and you were talking about comparison is the thief of progress. Yeah.
Okay, your chapter 1, your chapter 20, things like that. Yeah. Just decide to be a professional. Quit worrying about the past. Think of your past like a rearview mirror of a car. Okay? Rearview mirror of a car is little. The front windshield is huge, right? And if you're focused on the rearview mirror, you can't see ahead. And you got to be looking ahead. You got to be looking to the future. Don't beat yourself up too much. Love yourself. Remember, you can't give food from an empty stomach. My mom taught me that. So the next pillar, so there's network marketing as a pillar. There's LifeVantage, help build belief in LifeVantage to everybody. There's the products, you know, help people build belief in the products. And also there is, here, go see Iron. Go see Iron. Okay. All right. And then there's also belief in yourself. And that's a big one. And then I haven't decided for sure if this other one's a pillar or not, but sometimes I teach even belief in other people. And sometimes you got to believe in other people before they believe in themselves, whether they're one of your distributors or whether it's a prospect or someone you're trying to service with. So the pillar of belief. And I was scared. I was nervous. It took me 3 months to hit Pro 1. I almost quit several times. I tell people I scared myself or I failed myself all the way to Pro 8. And like Gabe Pearson said once from stage, he's a Pro 10. You guys probably know him. He said, the only difference between us Pro 10s and you guys, and same with us elites and you guys, is we've just made more mistakes than you have. And I have a cousin that's real into personal growth, and he's actually a mentor of mine. He's in my business. Took about 5 years to get him in. Finally had a service project in town. He came in, and even though he's only a Pro 1, he's been in like a year or two, like personal growth and the products and then personal growth have changed his life. And he is actually a mentor of mine. He's literally a mentor of mine in personal growth. And I just love, I lost what I was going to say there, but I'm telling you, anybody can do this business. So let me see. That's not coming back. I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, I think you were sharing just kind of about your journey, you know, how you were at Pro 1 for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's it. So one thing that he has taught me is that he loves failure. He celebrates failure. And he's teaching me to celebrate failure. Remember, like Blue Elan teaches, if you risk nothing, there's no reward. Zero risk, zero reward. A little bit of risk, a little bit of reward. More risk, reward. Maria Williams, a Pro 9 at an elite academy in Orlando, she said, feel the fear and do it anyway. So it's okay to be scared. It's okay to have doubt. I used to tell distributors, don't doubt, don't fear, just believe, just believe. And there's truth in that. But then I thought about my own journey, and I realized that I had lots of doubts and lots of fears. In fact, it was so huge. I mean, it was just mountains of doubts and mountains of fears. But I realized that why we were able to have the success we've had so far is that our belief was just enough bigger than those doubts. You don't have to have 100% belief. But if you can just keep your belief bigger than your doubts, you're going to be okay. Another quote I really love I heard is, doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith. Or doubt your doubts before you doubt your belief. And that applies to this as well. So, next thing, the next thing I want to talk to you about is, and I don't have a clock time in front of me. How long have we been into this? Oh, can't hear you. What time is it, Julie?
Sorry, I was muted. It's 8:19 right now, but don't worry, if we go a little over, it's not a problem.
Okay, well, I want to finish this and open it up for Q&A.
Okay.
So I said I was going to talk about vision, timing, consistency, and independence. So vision, okay, these next 5 years. And I'm not going to say much about this other than when I was in Anaheim, I got the strongest feeling that we only have about 5 years for there's always going to be opportunity. There'll be opportunity for years, but like the lifetime legacy, generational opportunity kind of a thing, I see, and like you don't have to believe me on this. This is just my spirit, my intuition, whatever. But I believe that these next 5 years are going to be more important than the next 25 years. And that the work we do right now, like I believe that 1 year of work over these next 5 years, each year we work in these next 5 years, might take 5 years or 10 years of equivalent work after that. And, of course it depends on how professional you become, how much of a leader you become. We need to quit looking for the leader and start becoming the leader, and then you can start attracting leaders. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say about that. Next thing I'm going to say is about timing. It's kind of the same thing. I guess that's kind of the same thing, really. But not even 1% of the world knows about this yet. But that's not going to, the only thing that gets worse about this is the timing. The best thing about this is the timing, and the worst thing about this is the timing. Guys, we have people in Snowflake, Arizona. Their last name is Flake. my same last name. Yes, my great-great-grandfather helped settle this in the 1800s, so that's how I got the name of the last name is Snowflake, with the snow and a flake. And there's lots of flakes here, and it sounds hilarious, but it's the truth. And anyways, I have some Flake cousins who signed up on somebody else's team right here in our community. And so even in our own community, you know, and that's what I believe, is that everybody's network knows everybody's network. And especially social media and Facebook and all these kind of things, the longer you wait to talk to somebody, there's a good chance somebody else could find them on social media or find them in person or get them on the phone. And so you don't have, you know, you can keep just, you know, you can keep coasting, just hoping that something happens. You know, get on that surf, or you can get on that surfboard and really be paddling before the wave comes. And learn the skills, learn the techniques, educate yourself. Get on the phone, you know, do something new. Quit, don't be a victim. Quit being a victim of your past and learn new skills. Don't be afraid to learn new skills. And then consistency. Be consistent. We'll talk about consistency and systems. I'm sure Julie has some really great systems she's taught you. You know, listen to Julie, listen to your leaders. And especially when you have leaders in your team or in other teams that you hear them saying the same things over and over and over again, those are the ones you really listen to. If you're hearing the same taught by multiple six-figure earners, then that's what you want to, that's what you really take in. There's times, you know, that I hear something and I'm like, I don't know about that, you know. But if I'm hearing the same things consistently from many different leaders, it's probably a true principle. So remember that. And, you know, and the system, you know, for me that I was taught, and we're taught, I think pretty much everywhere, is 15 or more presentations a month, and a monthly training. You know, make the event a priority. Okay, it wasn't easy. We had to drive 3 hours to get to our monthly training, one way, so 6 hours and one Saturday. And it was hard. It wasn't easy. I didn't like giving up Saturdays, but we made, you know, you make sacrifices. You can make excuses, or you can make money, but you can't make both. I love that quote as well. You can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both. And so make sure, and then make sure that you're figuring out a system that can duplicate. Now, not too robotic though. Some people can make something so robotic, cookie cutter, that it doesn't work. You gotta be individual. You gotta be able to know your audiences and talk with different audiences and things like that. But if you can, you know, because you're not working with robots, we're working with people. But if you can have guidelines that guide you and your people and your teams, so that generally everybody's doing basically the same thing, or the same things are being taught. You know, remember that you've got to stay in control of your business. Always do what you say you're going to do. Stay in control of your business. You know, you got to protect your business, protect your team. You know, a lot of times we think meekness or humility means, you know, no confrontation and anything like that. But you are the CEO of your business. And if you had another business, or you know a CEO has another business, they just let whatever happen in the business. What's going to happen to their business is going to fall apart. Take ownership of your business. Be the leader that you need to be. Make the hard decisions. Don't be a problem maker. That's not really a word. You know, but be a problem solver. Okay? You can carry water, like John Maxwell teaches. You can carry water, or you can carry gasoline when there's a spark of a problem. Okay? So you have to decide if you're gonna carry a bucket of water and put it out, or if you're going to carry a bucket of gasoline and make it bigger. Okay, think about that. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is independence. And you may be thinking 4th of July, or you may be thinking, you know, American independence, and I love our country, I love our flag, and patriots and everything like that. Spoke at a 4th of July flag raising with my mom this year. Was honored to do that. But the independence I'm talking about, and you may be thinking I'm talking about independence of freedom in your life, in your business, you know, creating that leveraged income, dig your well before you're thirsty, so that you can, you know, something like happened to the Elams happens to you, you can have a residual income. You know, if you pass away, you can still have a residual income coming in. But actually, what I'm talking about more than anything else is to remember that you are an independent business owner. Okay, a lot of times we get too stuck in making this a social, a social club, and that's important. The people, the community, and the culture is the most important part of building a successful network marketing business. You have to create that culture. Get together, do barbecues, family things. Do regular meetings, but do fun stuff too. Get to know your team, build relationships. It's a relationship business. But by the same token, be careful about being sucked into it only being a social club, if that makes sense. And remember that you're nobody's employee. So you have to make independent decisions a lot of time. And we are independent distributors. We are basically real estate agents. Like if you compare it to real estate, we're basically real estate agents that can have our own business, or maybe brokers. But we get a percentage, but we get a percentage to help other brokers start their own business, which other brokers don't do that most of the time. Okay? So we have a lot more leverage and create a lot more residual income than they can, but only if we treat this business like the independent business it is and that we need to treat. Does that make sense? I hope that's coming across right. I guess my challenge on that is to quit relying on other people so much and stand on your own 2 feet, pull your boots up, saddle that horse, and go work on your range.
Very
So
good.
that's all I have, Julie, unless except for the Q&A part. But if you wanted to add anything or ask me anything yourself, make any comments, feel free.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Sam. That was awesome. And you're right on. Those pillars of belief are such a big key to being successful in this business. And I love just how you, pinpointed each one, and that's so helpful. Love your story, just love your heart and your commitment. And I guess I have one question, and if others have a question, you can unmute yourself or type it in the chat box. The question I have is, I have several distributors who are just like, they're so busy with their full-time job and with their family, and they just are having a hard time, fitting LifeVantage in. Do you have any tips for people in that situation?
Well, the first thing you have to decide is how bad do you want this, okay? Because if nothing changes, right? And like Jim Rohn says, for things to change, we have to change. For things to get better, we have to get better. And so everything is a decision of priority. And I guess my answer to this is not an exact answer, but more of like a guideline. Busyness is good too. Sometimes the more time we have, the less we get done. My dad always said, if you ever want something done, you give it to a busy person.
Right.
And if you look at the successful leaders in our company, I would bet every single one of them were busy people. And you hear about Brandon Cunningham. He would make calls on his way to work. Tony Krashwitz, he was a truck driver. He'd text out the prime and say, dude, watch this. Or you got to watch this. I'll call you back in a little bit. And, he, what's his name? Fred Davis. Here's an invite for you. He'd send somebody the ABC prime time and say, hey, watch this. If you see the profit potential, give me a call. That was his invite. But I can't tell you what to do. And you got to support your family. You got to pay your bills. And you don't want to give anything like go all into this until one person suggested 3 times your income. We didn't do that, but maybe we should have. But you don't want to give up what you have until before the time arrives. But you've got to figure out a way to fit it in the nooks and crannies of your life. And maybe you get where you're learning, LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, study that a little bit. Listen to tapes as you go, if you're driving to work or whatever you're doing. Don't waste time with talk radio and news and, take the time for your family. You still got to have balance in your life. Stephen R. Covey teaches, sometimes got to have some temporary imbalance to get the permanent balance you need, but that doesn't mean no balance. You know, there's no success that can compensate for failure in the home, but also don't use your family as an excuse, use them as a reason. You know, I remember when we started out in the beginning, after, it got real hard for our kids. I'd be gone doing meetings and different things quite a bit. And I hated leaving like that. And like, I don't want my kids to hate me because I'm doing this. And so my wife printed off a Curious George holding an ice cream cone with 15 ice cream scoops. And they got to color one in every time we did a presentation. And after we did that, they started kicking me out the door, and they were more excited to color it than they were for the ice cream we got when we finished 15 presentations. So you have to be creative. You have to think outside the box. You have to try new things. You know, study certain videos or webinars. I mean, if you never have time to meet with people, but you only have time to send them a video or a webinar, you know, get them on a three-way call. Just talk to them yourself. I mean, you have to figure out what works best with you and your personality and beliefs, and know your audience. It's not going to be the same for each person. It may be different videos or different webinars for different people. But if you haven't been studying these and knowing them, then you don't know what to send people. And being more professional of setting follow-ups and getting back to people. In fact, when it comes to follow-up, I recommend as much as possible to, you know, when you're done with the presentation, don't just leave it up in the air. Find out where they are, resolve any concerns you can, and then if they still want to look more, say, all right, I'm a professional. I want to keep following up with you. I don't want to bug you. You know, our relationship is the most important thing, so you don't ruin any relationships or anything. But I would like to call you either every day or every 2 days until you're either got everything you need, or you've resolved all your concerns, you're ready to go, or you're like, you know what, I'm just not really interested. So can we do that? And then every day, if you've set it that up, or if it's every 2 days, you know, set up a time, and then they know exactly what you're doing. They know there's no pressure, and does that make sense? And I know I went on a lot of different things.
I love that. I've never heard it put that way before, but I think that would be, you know, definitely more thorough and systematic. So yeah, that's really good. I like that idea. Yep, great. Very good. Thank you. Anybody else here have a question before we close for the night? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question. I think we have a quiet group here tonight.
Hey, Julie, it's Bev.
Oh, hi, Bev.
Hi. Could he sort of repeat what he just said that you said was really good? Because so many times it goes really fast, and it's like, wait a minute, I want to wrap my head around it a little bit more.
Sure.
Can you repeat those last few phrases?
About the follow-up?
You bet. So basically what I was saying about that is, rather than just finishing a presentation and saying thanks for your time, you know, think about this and we'll talk, you know, I'll call you sometime, or you can get back with me. You know, try to be more professional about it. And I actually think you'll get more respect and more interest if you do this, because they see that you know how to handle yourself, you know what you're doing. And you say, as you know, I'm serious about this, and it may or may not be for you, and that's fine. Our relationship is the most important thing. But if it's okay with you, always get permission. If it's okay with you, I would like to call you. I would like to touch base with you just once a day, maybe at 6 o'clock when you go home from work. Is that okay with you? You know, or set a time and say just every day until you've got your, you know, because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. And I don't want to be hounding you, anything like that. But at any time when I call, don't ever think, oh, Sam's calling, I'm not sure what I want to say yet. Okay, at any time when you call, or when I call, you know, you can tell me, you know, I'm not interested at any time. Okay, because I don't want this to be weird or awkward or anything like that. So, and I know that is a lot to take in. Julie is recording this. You could fast forward and watch that again a couple times. But does that help? Does that make some sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I love that system for follow-up, because it can be awkward for people, and they don't always know how to handle that. So that's very good. Okay, anybody else have a quick question here before we close out tonight?
Yeah, I'll throw a quick question, I guess, for maybe something
Hi, Mark.
very. Hi, Julie. Very early, Sam made the statement about having the belief in Life Vantage, and I have beliefs in the products because I am seeing things happening in my, I guess, just say in my body. Things are changing for the better. My blood pressure is down significantly. I've lost weight, and the only thing I can say is I've been taking it long enough now that it is finally, it's in me and it's taking over things. But yet I'm having trouble conveying that to other people to maybe get them to, try it. So maybe I'm saying too much, what I believe in it, but I'm having problems conveying that message in a simple manner.
And, and you have to decide what you're going to talk to other people about, whether that's in person, you see them at the store, the game, or wedding reception or something. Actually, I love wedding receptions, by the way. We were at one the other night and got a contact there and, did an invite. And I mean, just, I don't know, great opportunities. But back to your point, your question, and actually say it one more time, that the actual question, I got sidetracked there, got a little off on a tangent. Mark, can you say that one more time, just the question itself?
Well, I believe in it. So what, how do I convey that message?
How do you convey that to other people? Well, like I was going to say, you have to decide what you're going to talk about with other people. You're going to introduce them to the products or you're going to introduce them to the business. And everybody's a little different. And some people are more comfortable sharing the product with people or products. Some people are more comfortable sharing the business with people. Now, when I saw what Pratanam was about and everything, I went to a meeting Friday night. I signed up Saturday. I mean, I was like, holy cow, this is going to be big once I learned what oxidative stress was. And so for me, but people didn't know me. I wasn't a personal trainer. I wasn't a doctor or a chiropractor or a nutritionist or anything like that. People around town, my friends, stuff, they didn't know me as a nutrition expert, right? And so they're not going to give me the respect about a product. Like even if I had something happen in my life, I mean, they might listen a little bit, but like, we're here. Hold on one second. Let me close this door.
Okay. Amy.
We're here. Can someone mute their phone, if you don't mind? Okay. And I'll just try to keep talking. And I lost my train of thought again, Julie.
Yeah, you were just saying about how people see you. They don't really see you as a nutrition expert.
Right. And so for me, it became easier to share the business with people, a business opportunity. I mean, probably my most common invite is, after visiting a little bit, is, do you keep your options open? And they almost always say, yeah. And then I just try to set up a time to meet with them. If I have a meeting set up, I try to invite them to it. If I don't, I try to just, work something into their schedule, at least get their phone number to get back with them later, that kind of a thing. Because introducing a business opportunity seemed more natural to me than trying to convince somebody why they should take, our products. But when we do introduce the business, they can still learn about product. Does that make sense or help, Mark? Okay. So good question. It's a good question. Sometimes it's hard to know exactly what to say, how to say it. And
well, just a quick example. I have an older sister she's been battling Lyme's disease for well over a decade, and all the methotrexate and all those different things they put in her. And I'm thinking, I've told her about this in the past, and I visited with her today, and I wanted to, reinitiate the conversation about the Protandim, but it's just like I've hit a stone wall with her. But I feel it's probably the best thing she could do. But again, It's just, like you're saying, I'm not we're not doctors, we're not that nutritional expert. So it's almost like, like you said earlier, sometimes we're perceived as, the used car salesman. And that's the part I need to get over and just get better at, and what it might just be changing from showing the product, talking about the product, show the business. But thank you.
You bet. You bet.
Awesome. Well, Sam, it was just awesome to have you on our team Zoom tonight. You're so inspirational and encouraging. We just really appreciate you taking the time out. It's just been an honor to have you on here. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. And I want to thank everyone for getting on our team Zoom tonight. And I want to also remind you that at 9 p.m. in just a few minutes, Carrie Bedard and Gabe Pearson are doing a webinar, an opportunity webinar. So this would be a great opportunity to get some guests on and to do some follow-up. So I encourage everyone to do that and look forward to seeing you all next week. Love you all. Thanks so much for joining us. So bye for now.
Bye, Julie.
Bye-bye, Elena.
Have a great night.
Yep.